Welcome, community of love, wherever you are in this amazing planet. This community, we emphasize the importance of addressing any conflict with love and forgiveness. These two marvelous ingredients have the power to dissolve and resolve any inner conflict. So, this program is about spiritual, love, family, self, and money relationships. This is your host, Lilia Ackerman, known as the Road Through Digger, because I'm a stronger believer that in order to reconnect, rebuild, and revive your relationships, you must remove your inner conflicts to operate from the true self and get the right mindset to live your extraordinary life. I am a certified transformational wellness master coach and a self publisher. You can grab a copy of my books From Gloom to Bloom and De la Penumbra a la Aurora. I don't know if you are able to see them, but here they are. I don't know. Sometimes the screen is kind of blurry, but anyways, I will put the link below. Today, our amazing star is Eileen Bild. Eileen is founder of the Core Thinking Blueprint Method and Breakthrough S.P.A.R.K. What an amazing name. She helps to create a spark for the next steps through re-engineering. Listen, re-engineering the brain to upgrade thinking and actions. Eileen will engage you with her incredible story of confidence, courage, resilience, fortitude, and clarity for success, and going from ordinary to extraordinary. So we welcome, good morning, Eileen. Thank you for coming to my show to share your incredible and remarkable story and your passions with our beautiful audience. So, before we dive into what you do, we would like to know, what do you do for fun?
Oh, what do I do for fun? Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. I look forward to having an engaging conversation today that will hopefully enlighten and inspire those who watch, as well as ourselves, right? So, what do I do for fun? I love to be out in nature, and especially when it's not hot here in Florida, to go walk along the beach because the beach has healing properties, and it's just takes me away from all the chaotic energy that's in the world today. So I like to stay in a peaceful state. So it's either going to be the beach or my hammock.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
imagine that. Yeah, I like
yeah.
that too.
So in the hammock, during the day, I can look at the trees, the birds, whatever's
Mm.
going on above me, and at night I can see the moon and the stars, and
Oh, God.
it's just very relaxing. So I
You
like
just took
anything
me
that's
out there.
Oh, good, good. I like to do anything for fun that also energizes me, right? And revitalizes and I can enjoy it, right? So those are my two
Beautiful,
two top things.
beautiful, beautiful. And do you have pets?
Well, we have a Maine Coon cat, but one of our friends adopted him when we came down to Cocoa Beach area, Melbourne, Cocoa area to take care of my dad. So he adopted him for us, and we're living in our what we call the gypsy wagon, our camper, and he would not have survived in the small camper. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I remember when you did it. I was like, wow, you're my hero.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, the
Traveling in your
backstory.
RV.
Yeah. Well, the backstory for that is a lot of people our age, 50s, 60s, we have elderly parents that are needing care.
Mhm.
And my dad still wants to live in his house, bless his heart, 93. And so almost 2 years ago, we decided to move from Jacksonville to this area to be with my dad, but COVID hit. And we all decided for us not to move in with my dad. So the best option we saw was to move into our camper. So we call it the
Beautiful.
gypsy wagon and the gypsy lifestyle. And we love it because we're nature outdoor people. And it also allowed us to minimize, right? To not be so materialistic and to get rid of all the
Beautiful.
things that we didn't need. So we have what's in the camper and what's in storage, and that's what we have. And we do just fine. We don't need all the other stuff. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I have to tell you, everywhere you were, you brought all of us with you. From
True.
one place to another, I learned a lot of things that I have never heard about some of these places, the beauty, the culture. So you made a change, but we make you you make this change too.
Well, you know, that to me is what life is all about, right? To connect with others and kind of give and receive at the same time of whatever that person brings to the experience. So I'm glad that, you know, my life and what I do also inspires change for you or higher awareness or new perspective. So I think
A
that's
hundred
awesome.
percent, and I thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So now, what is the most valuable lesson you have learned that has impacted your success and how you show up in the world?
So that's a loaded question for me because it started way back when I had I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was in my 30s, excuse me, my mid 30s. And I ended up making a declaration 8 years into it, not getting any better, feeling like I was on death's door. Uh, Basically, I put my fist up to the sky and I looked up and I said, take me or heal me. And what happened next was just a incredible change of just everything in my life. And I healed in 3 months on a self trajectory protocol that I set up. And my world changed. And it went into more of a spiritual awakening that I recognized over a period of time that I had lost myself in life, right? I was not paying attention to the Eileen that's the authentic uh, person who has all these gifts and skills that were not being expressed. And so that awakening put me on a path to who I have become today, and I'm still becoming, right? So once we start learning about self and self development, it never ends because there's always more to learn and understand and to become more aware of. And I find it fascinating that when I think I've learned enough about a subject or about something, an experience shows up that adds a little more to it. So I'm always open-minded and I'm always looking to how can I show up better in the world as the best version of myself in the now to be at peace and to shine the light on myself and others so that we can have an overall better world, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a very empowerment question when we ask ourselves, how can I show up better? How can I be a better person? Because that definitely open room for growth, open
Yes.
room for make changes, adjustments, personal adjustments. And definitely that's why when I work with families, I really like when somebody take the courage to to be open-minded, to change for herself, for himself, how the whole family, the whole interaction with the rest of the, not just, I mean, the immediate family, because are the one knows you are the one, um, you know what is in your family running from generation to generation. And you really, for when one person change, you can impact the rest of the aunties, sisters, brothers, nephews, and it is very powerful. So I can imagine by you making that question and making all these changes and be a survivor. I mean, for that powerful question, heal me or take me. I mean, not anybody can say that. And here you are showing
Yeah.
in a very powerful way, making changes, personal adjustments, and taking your family, showing your family that there is a different way to live.
Exactly. And part of that self-empowerment was recognizing where I was saying yes when I should be saying no, where my boundaries were not set. And it's all about teaching others how to treat you, um, validating and listening for the other person versus to the other person. So the communication is a give and take. And I realized I was a giver, giving a yes person and give, but I was depleting myself because I wasn't allowing myself to receive.
Mhm.
And as I adjusted and adapted to what would make me the strongest I could be
Mm.
as the authentic Eileen, to be respected for who I am, who is a little different than what those around me would want me to be or who they would want me to be. And the world, the world tries to dictate, you need to be this or there's something wrong with you. And I say, we all each are unique and different in ourselves, and that difference is of value. No matter what it is to somebody else, it's of value. And to find the power within to stand in your truth and that value of the self, right? To be heard, valued, understood, and seen and loved. The core uh, person, well, the core within a person of what they're seeking in life is to be loved, I think, to love, to be loved, and to give love. And when we get into that cycle of giving and receiving love,
Yeah.
everything else falls into place, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. So, and with the work you do, the importance of that. And the lesson I learned is I needed to honor myself. I needed to honor who I was as the Eileen I was born into. And I've spent the last 20, 25 years developing back into Eileen, the healer, Eileen, the person who helps others to rise to be the best version of themselves. The spark coach who sparks others to take that next step without fear, and to realize that, this is our one life in this
Yeah.
lifetime. And if not now, when? So it's say now I'm going to show up authentically myself in the strongest possible way, and for people to respect and honor that. And it's a process, and there's skills and tools to be learned. But once you get into that space, there's no turning back, and you can only get stronger, because weakness and that level, what I call the lower level energies, cannot sustain itself when your mindset and your thinking is on success and forward movement, and in that higher elevation of um, anything is possible, and the I can do attitude.
Beautiful. Um, do you remember one personal change? I mean, I'm pretty sure you did many from where you were until you are today. But do you remember one that it was very powerful that made you that made that contributed for moving forward with your life vision? One personal change.
Absolutely. And I can describe it to you. And
Okay.
it's what I call otherworldly. Yes. So one of the key points of my transition from being controlled and totally engulfed in the fibromyalgia
Okay.
to um, shining and evolving into who I've become today was shifting my thinking and how I viewed the condition I was in. And that went from sickness and disease. I have fibromyalgia. I'm miserable. I can't think. I can't sleep. All the I can't, and all the miserable, negative aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to awaken and I started reading all the personal self-help books, and I ran into Louise Hay, all of her information and how she self-healed from cancer, fourth stage cancer, she became my inspiration and her information. And then other self-help um, professionals at that time, who are still well known today, but they were kind of at the beginning back then too. Um, I shifted out of that negative thinking into what I wanted to become. I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm vibrant. And I stopped saying and thinking where I was, and I put effort and energy into who I wanted to be as I slowly started to become that. One
Beautiful.
day, yes, one day I'm driving down the highway in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I lived, and I kind of went into that. Sometimes if you're driving for a long time, 20, 30 minutes, you can sometimes zone out, right? And you go past the exits and you realize, oh, wait a minute. I thought I just passed the one before that, but I'm like 10 exits forward. So I was in that kind of zone and I could feel the energy shift. And the word sickness and disease literally came flying at me and went right over my head in the car. I've never
Wow.
had an experience like that before. Freaked me out. I was like, whoa, what was that? Because it was like a physical and mental shift.
Hmm.
So when I got home, I immediately called my friends who knew a little bit more because I was just at the beginning of my personal development and spiritual path.
Okay.
And so I called up my friend and I said, hey, this happened to me. What in the world was it? Now, I had already been looking into neural pathways. So neural pathways are changeable. And the neural
Of
pathways has to
course.
do with our belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you think of something, it becomes a new belief. So what happened was I shifted from a sickness disease paradigm into a health and healing paradigm. And it showed up and showed itself to me through that experience. And that was the beginning of the explosive healing that happened because I was no longer held back by that negative thinking and verbiage and action that I was taking.
Yeah,
And
you
that
started building
will,
new bridges.
yes, and that
Yes.
will of putting my fist up was the catalyst to push me forward and through that stress point of the breakthrough that happened. So
Amazing.
I'm all about mindset, how we think. So
Yes.
in 2014, so while that happened, um, in the like, well, let's see, I'm 60 now, so 25 years ago, or 20 years ago when I was 40. Um, and then in 2014, the core thinking blueprint method came through me, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm sure you understand you get this push and pull and kind of sometimes a knock on the door, write this or do this or go in this direction. So
Yes.
I kept getting this urge to write what became the core thinking blueprint method. And that involves the core thinking blueprint program, the 3 C's.
Three C's, huh? Tell me
Yes.
more.
So the 3 C's is confidence, courage, and clarity. And working with clients over the years and the program and the S.P.A.R.K coaching, uh, we had not, as a general rule, as adults, developed our autonomy completely and fully. So therefore, our confidence and our courage are not the strongest they could be as an adult. So we're not clear on where we take ourselves in lives, decisions we make. We question, what direction we go or what choices we make. What I have found is when confidence, courage, and clarity are in its strength, which can always be strengthened, but when it's all aligned in strength, you're unstoppable, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
without the strong confidence, you won't have the courage or clarity to support that's weak confidence. So if your confidence is weak, the courage and clarity is going to be weak. So building the confidence to where um, you know who you are, you know your boundaries, you know what you want in life, you show up in the way you want to show up, then you have the courage to support that confidence to say what you want to say without um, worrying about the other person, or to take that next step, to take those risks that um, might take you in a certain direction. But if you have the clarity on the choices you make for that risk, then the risk will be minimal, or there won't be any risk at all because you know you're following that guidance. Because it's all connected to something greater than ourselves. And when we tap into that, there is no question, right? There is no uncertainty.
Yeah, I agree 100% because some people say, well, people doesn't understand me. And I say, do you understand yourself? People
Right,
doesn't respect me. Do you respect yourself?
right,
And the answer, man, almost 99.9%, no, I don't.
right.
So we want people to understand us when we don't understand ourselves. So we are not able to convey our message, to convey who we are. If you don't know who you are, I mean, yeah, we send pieces of different people that we are not. I call it the broken version of yourself.
And not only that, but I'm sure you ask people, do you love yourself? And sometimes people get taken aback by that question. What do you mean? Do I love myself? They don't know what it means to
No.
love the self. So if you're looking for love, which is I believe, one of the key, as I said earlier, key things that we want as the human experience, if you don't love yourself, then what are you putting out to others to bring back to you? And
Yeah, and
right,
especially like from I believe from the 1800s, like what is happiness? Happiness, like people connect happiness, love, but there is a big distortion of that because the
there
word
is.
happiness we start using it on the late 1800s. Before it was joy, which the word joy is connected to the spiritual, has a spiritual connection. But now in the 60s, it was a big shift of what we know as happiness today, which is connected with material stuff to buy to and people became worshipaholic and buying, which is happiness temporary. So
It's an
it
empty,
is a big distortion about what love is. So if
it's
people
an
don't,
empty
don't understand
happiness.
that,
Right.
how are they going to love themselves? Are they going to love others? And how I didn't know how to receive love either.
Mm,
I didn't even know that you have to. When I healed that area of my life, then is when I was able to freely give and to freely receive.
yes. And it's a
Yeah.
great
So
place to be, it's kind of liberating to be in a space of being grounded and centered and what I call bend and flex in and out of the world as the inner world and the outer world. And it's working from the outside in, but understanding how the outside comes in. I'm sorry, working from the inside out and understanding how the outside influences and impacts the inner self. And when you start to understand those dynamics and really tune into uh, that felt good, that didn't feel good. Okay, why? What is it in me that needs healing? What is it that I need to present to the world so they don't bring it to me? Anything negative that comes to our lives, we give permission for that to come into our lives. We cannot point to the other person, another finger points back at us. So it's I had to learn to understand what is my part, what part am I playing in my experience, and how do I um, evolve that and transform it so it's the most pleasant, joyful, happy, serene, peaceful experience I can have. I don't believe that we have to be unhappy when other people are unhappy for them to be happy, right? So,
but this is very interesting because if we don't, the majority of people they don't catch that. So
no.
if you have all your friends talking about the bad relationship that they have with their partners, and you have the beautiful relationship, this group can drag you into break up or create something in your beautiful marriage, so you can have the same conversations with them. I seen that, and I was like, oh my god, it is so so. It is we need to bring this up awareness that if you have a beautiful relationship, you need to be careful with what kind of surroundings you have. So you need to match what you have with other couples too.
Well, that and also be discerning and does someone have the potential to grow and evolve out of where they are? That's not a match for so my husband and I are lifelong learners, and that is a benefit for both of us. And when we came together, um, we each had different strengths and weaknesses. And as we got married 11-11-11.
No way.
Isn't that cool? Yes. On a catamaran on the St. John's. And
Oh my
afterwards
God.
there were dolphins jumping all
Listen
over
to
the
me.
place. It was
Sorry.
beautiful, beautiful. So we came into this union knowing that we were going to grow and we were going to grow with each other. And we have what I call hiccups. We've had throughout the time hiccups. However, we do not see those as problematic that could cause a breakup. Instead, we look at those as opportunity to get closer, to get to know each other better, because you know we never really know ourselves fully. We have others. In my case, my husband sees things in me that I may not see, and so he shares and guides and gives me some challenges to recognize where there's some opportunity for me to even become stronger in my sense of self. I'm very strong now. My confidence, courage, and clarity are impeccable. I mean, I'm very clear. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I have very strong clarity in the choices I make. Do I sometimes make mistakes? Absolutely. Sometimes I'm tired, or I'm not as attuned as I should be, as I normally would be. And so things can slip through, but I recognize it right away and I course correct it. So one of the things we learned early on was those that want to take your energy away, right? I call them the energy vampires, those who want to destroy, and whether it's because they're jealous, that's the personality, whatever. And when we recognize those points of conflict that would possibly take us down our business or take us down as a couple, we discussed it. We would sit down and talk about the person, what they were bringing to us, and how we would strategize to either help them correct their behavior around us, or how we needed to remove them from our experience in a gentle way, not with swords and not not with anything that could be destructive. Um, so as we practiced our strategy, it became part of our foundational strength as a couple. And people, I believe, you can come into contact with someone and feel right away the kind of person they are, whether they're strong or weak, whether you want to engage with them or not. And then once you start conversing with someone, you learn even more. Oh, this person is toxic, or this person is, I'd love to be around this person. I want to see them again, or I want to talk to them again. So we just learned through understanding the principles, the law of attraction, the principles of the universe, how everything works, how we're all connected. And we took all that knowledge that we're still building upon, and our skills, and some of the tools in deflecting the energy vampires, so that we stay strong. Our boundaries are here and it's locked together and it cannot be broken. And so people have learned to respect us for who we are and what we do as individuals and as a company. Because we work a lot with artists and entrepreneurs and musicians. So,
Hmm.
it's a lot of people who have the right brain and the creative aspect of themselves, and a lot of that has a lot of emotion. So we um, uh, we work within the thinking, again, how we think and what's important, and listening and validating the other person so that they feel heard, valued, understood, so we can be
Exactly.
on the same page with them, right?
I see the relationship that you have with your husband, and it's beautiful. I can
Thank
see the
you.
bonding, the love, the connection. And that is, it doesn't, that is not being created just out of the blue. I mean, this being, like you mentioned, understanding each other, accepting the differences, um, accept when we are out of place and do something about it. So it is very powerful when you see that kind of love. I mean, through a picture, through something so simple that I know that there is a strong bonding. So
Absolutely.
congratulations on
And
that.
thank you. Thank you. And
And
the
that
other,
I was a question that I was going to ask you, like, what is one key to help the family together? But you mentioned more than one right now.
I did. Sorry. Well, I want to mention one more thing that I didn't say yet.
Of
And
course.
that is, and there's so much out there about this, the masculine versus the feminine, the
Mm,
male versus the female, because
okay.
we do think differently. And one thing my husband has taught me, and then one thing I've taught him. So the thing he's taught me is when engaging with a male, um, to be just very short and sweet, actual faction. If they want more detail, then we can give them the full story. So that's helped us a lot. And it's been a journey for me to adapt to that because it's a female.
Yeah.
And as my personality, I want to talk, right? I want to tell the whole story. I want to, to just tell everything that happened. And then for what my husband's had to learn about the female is to be compassionate, right? And to
Mhm.
listen when she really needs to share that story. So we danced a good dance over time to meet in the middle and have a beautiful dance together in that male, female, masculine, feminine aspect. And I think that's the toughest for couples because the men are like, what did I
Mm.
do wrong? And the women are like, she didn't hear me. He's not listening. And those are real true struggles. But learning and understanding how to communicate within those dynamics makes it such a more pleasant relationship, give and take, and not orders or telling someone how to do or trying to change the other person. And that's not what it's
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
Exactly. I totally agree. Like, yeah, if I tell people, if you want to talk, call a friend.
Yes.
They are going to be there 24-hour talking and you don't get tired.
Yes.
And I tell them, okay, do you see your purse? How big or small it is? We have a lot of stuff in there and we can find our keys and we can find anything in there. Just put your hand in there. We don't even have to look, right? I said, how many packets a man carries? Okay, look the pants. It's four.
Mm-hmm.
Just the pants. And now they have on the side. So now it's six,
Right.
right?
Right.
And now they have the shirt. It has normally has two. And if they wear a suit, they have two on front, on one and two hidden. Or
Mm-hmm.
two on the like, but can you imagine? I mean, we're talking about how many now? Six, seven, eight, nine, 10, about 11 or 12
Right.
packets. And what do they do? Here is one thing, one.
Mm-hmm.
Here's as another thing. And here is another thing. And here's a different. Because that's exactly the brain it works for them.
Yes.
Well, for
Simple.
us, we don't have
Simple.
an
They're
issue.
simple. We're complicated.
No, yeah, and I mean, I got my husband a man bag, and it takes for, I mean, and it's super flat, super small, but he has issues. Put it in there because their brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So for
Mm-hmm.
us, forcing them to go is like going against their nature.
Yes.
But like you say, if we understand the way the brain operates in a man and a woman and our differences, problem solved.
Yes.
Problem
Yes.
solved. You want to go shopping? Grab your friends.
Yes.
If now, if you want your husband to come, then allow him to do whatever he wants.
Right. Well, they need downtime, and we need downtime too. But I think we do our downtimes different. They have cave time,
Exactly.
and we have girlfriend time, or go read, or whatever quiet time. But it's just understanding back to the basics. Understand the differences, and don't try to change them, but work with it. And over time, it will evolve. And in that evolution, there's change that happens because change is constant.
Yes.
But it's not a forced change. It's a coming together stronger shift versus a change.
And
And
sometimes they
it's
appreciate when we do something that they really like. Like
yes,
my husband, I mean, I thank you God because he's half Argentinian and half Italian, and he likes soccer, but he's not addicted to the game. He's not
yes.
addicted to. Well, he was begging me, not begging me, but he invited me like a couple of times, and finally I say yes to go to the Argentinian Association to watch the last games that it was in Miami, Florida. So I went with him, and it was just super interesting. I don't watch any games in the on TV. I've never been in that world,
Mhm.
and but it was amazing experience. But my husband, he was so into the game. He was squeezing my hand and like, oh, he's super excited. It's my hand, honey. It's my hand, honey. But he was no, Dad, screaming. But every time he looked at me, I said, I don't know. It's like he fell in love with me because just I was there,
There.
just
Yeah, you
just
were
being
supporting
there.
something important to him.
Yeah, I get up
Yeah,
many times, to go for a walk and then come back and sit down. But just for being there, it meant so much for him that
yes.
he was hugging me and he was kissing me and he was like, wow,
Mm.
I want more games.
I was gonna say, man, you need to do that more.
So sometimes it's like it's good to get into their world, into what
Yes,
they want.
yes,
And it's like giving and receiving again. We talk
yes.
about that, giving and receiving. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
wow, this is very interesting to listening to you about and I can imagine all this knowledge and your the S.P.A.R.K methodology you are implementing when people come and works for you with you. So what can you give us a little a scenario and what is when somebody comes to you, um, what is your steps? How do you guide them from the beginning to the end in a very short version?
Right, right. So I'm going to say from the beginning to a infinite opportunities because personal and self-development and growth is infinite. It doesn't stop. So the
Mm-hmm.
work I do creates a new foundation from which people work from. Uh, well, I shouldn't say work from which they operate and show up in life. And it's a shift. Like I had that shift from sickness and
Mm-hmm.
disease to health and healing. It's a shift from maybe fear and stress and worry and possibly some dis-ease in the body. Um, so it's working with them to shift that foundation first, and then to grow from that foundation in the strength of the confidence, courage, and clarity. And the work that we do is identifying, what's working, what's not working in life, whether it's personal or business. And if someone's a leader or CEO or an executive, it's helping them to understand the value of their strengths and what they are doing to be the best leader they can be and to break through any glass ceiling they feel that they've hit in order to have people want to be there with them, to follow them in their lead, and respect them for who they are and what they do. But also, as a leader, to goes back to listening and validating those that they lead and those that they bring into their business if they're a CEO. So, you know, it's all about if someone is ready and really to looking for that change that they haven't been able to do themselves, then I'm a person that can take them from point A to point B and beyond in a way that creates real, true change and shift. Certainly, and most definitely, just incredible transformation that not only impacts themselves, but it impacts those around them. And an
Exactly.
example would be I have a client that's been ongoing for many years who was very angry when I met him, very just chip on his shoulder, angry, and just could, just thought the world was against him and everybody was against him. And through working with the 8 pies of the core thinking blueprint method, which there are 8 levels of core thinking. And by working through those over time, his confidence, courage, and clarity enabled him to go into a new facility and create a new program that grew exponentially in a very short period of time. And he was able to mentor and guide those people that he was leading. So, it's a opportunity to become the best version of yourself within an environment that helps you grow and helps those around you grow, and those around you will help those around them, and it's that ripple effect. But you feel good about yourself, right? You love your job, you love the people around you when you receive it back. So it's just this dynamic, organic yet concrete process
Mm-hmm.
that once you start on that path, you always want more because a part of you knows there's more. And because you got to where you are right now, so let's say you started working with me, 90 days ago, it's a 90-day program, and
Mm-hmm.
you would be sitting here right now saying, wow, I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't started working with you. And where do we go next? I want to know what the next step is because
Beautiful.
I've made it this far in this short period of time. What can I do now? It's
Mm-hmm.
like your whole idea of opportunity opens up. There's no limitation. Limitations go out the window. Fears, you know, fears come and go, but they're not part of that foundation anymore. So
Exactly.
we replace a lot of the thinking and belief systems and perceptions.
Yeah, the next
There's
time the fear show up, you know what to do.
right. You
Yeah,
have the
you're not
tools and the
freeze.
techniques, right? They're
Yeah.
not as disempowering, right? You
Mm-hmm.
feel so
Exactly.
empowered that nothing, like I said, you're unstoppable. And the universe works in mysterious ways, right?
Yes,
Things
absolutely.
show up and you're like, okay, so something's working because I would have never in a million years expected to meet this person and have a conversation with this person or for this experience to happen. And it's like magic, this magical element of things connecting, but it's all because of you. And I'm just
The
guiding.
changes that you're making.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
And
rerouting,
it's the
yeah,
re-engineering that you
yes,
mentioned in the
exactly,
beginning.
yes.
It's the
So
re-engineering.
obviously you're gonna have different experiences, meet different people, being in
Yes.
different conversations because you change.
Yes. And it's that neural pathway that's shifted, and neural pathways are permanent until you do another shift. So wherever your neural pathway is, whatever those pathways are right now, until you shift your thinking, perspective, perception, beliefs, it's going to stay on that pathway no matter what you do. That's why people feel like they hit their head against the wall. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this and that and that, and I'm not getting anywhere.
Hmm.
Well, you got to change that neural pathway
Yeah,
because and
consistency.
the energy that's coming out of you out there and your actions, there has to be change if you want something different in your life.
Yeah,
It's all good.
all good.
Oh,
So we
I
are,
just, oh, well, oh, wait, let me tell you this.
yes,
I
of
just
course.
heard a new term and I'm starting to use it and I love it. It's called
Okay.
faith on fire.
Faith on fire.
Yeah. So if you have enough
Beautiful.
faith in what you're doing, then you're on fire, faith on fire. And
Mm-hmm.
things
Mm-hmm.
have to
Yeah, 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 of
happen
course.
when
Of
it's in
course.
that element of success, right? The success
Yes.
mindset.
I like that. I really like that. Well, we are about to finish our amazing conversation. I can be here with you listening all day long. So
I could be conversing and having conversation with you all day long too. So we'll just have
no,
to do this again.
yes, we have to. So I understand that you have a gift for our audience. Is that correct?
I do. So
All
if
right.
anything I shared today resonates or sounds like you as far as wanting to move to the next stage and protect yourself from the energy vampires I talked about. I have a meditation that I'd like to send you, and you can send me an email at coach@eileenbild.com, and I will send you the ground center shield exercise, and that will get you started at least protecting yourself, and it can help with your confidence, courage, and clarity.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So how can people find you
They
beside that email?
they can find me on Facebook, Eileen Bild.
Okay.
They can find me on Instagram, Eileen.Bild. They can go to I have two websites. I have corethinkingblueprint.com and hoteluniverse.com. And if you Google Eileen Bild, you'll see all about me, like 3 or 4 pages deep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I have a column on the bizcatalyst.com website, and I have my own column in there. So if you look under columnist and click my name, that'll take you directly to my column on that website. I'm all over the
Beautiful.
place.
Well, that's what we need you everywhere.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So I have to say that I have learned so much, really so much today. I hope my beautiful audience that you are ready to take action and start practicing what you have learned from our today's guest, Eileen Bild. So if you or someone that you know would like to hear from more from her coaching modalities, I can assure you that you will be in a great hands because she really cares for the well-being of others, and
Thank
she will
you.
take care of you with her entire heart. So thank you, Eileen, for your time and for sharing your remarkable story. So again, my name is Lilia, your host, and I thank you for listening, for being here. So see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. I'm
Bye.
gonna stop the recording. So stop.